other one is at the triangle over here, and he's just scouting constantly. He has this another smoke.
Myra. Can he finish the Roger? He's going to get the toss back. It's not enough to save him. I mean, Vichu's by his side. And will still commit onto the Tiny. It's Supreme. He really wants that kill. My goodness, he wants it. And he doesn't. Oh, he does get it. With the help of the Nature's Wrath. Costs him his life, though. And one of his familiars, maybe even two. Yeah, both familiars. That is a hashtag not worth there.
That's a big hashtag not worth, because I think Clock might have even killed him alone. The only way he survives is if you get close enough for the toss, right? He gets close enough, Clock gets tossed out.
Oh, I see what you mean. If he didn't give a toss target.
Yeah, a toss target, because he still had quite a bit of battery.
He would have been able to stay on top of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. What we're seeing from Iceberg. Do you like this as well? I mean, this game, just a quick 4-star, suddenly impossible for
no doubt.
Very hard for them to make any players on it. The counter to the Cogs, counter to the Grave Chill, counter to the Sprout. Yep. It's all round just a fantastic 4-star.
It's actually a fantastic item versus Visage as well.
Yeah. Damn, easy kills. Iceberg, he just keeps reeling them in. Top lane, General and Roger. They'll find another.
Dire structures are fortified.
Man, this lineup of NIP, they can't stand alone on the map. If they stay anywhere, Enchantress, Nature's Prophet, even Visage, they just fall so easily. You have so much burst on FlyToMoon.
Yeah, NIP, they can't afford to keep slipping up like this. I mean, we've literally seen this story many times before. FlyToMoon versus NIP. FlyToMoon just cannot help destroying them every single time they've gone up against them in this tournament. And here in this game too, it's looking again to be a solid start for FlyToMoon. Supreme, as for an attempt on to always want to fly, be able to set himself with a false promise.
Is under attack.
Supreme, he's going to try and go for Iceberg. Won't be able to do so.
He just had to stop him from all these aggressive movements, from all the thunder arcs and whatnot. So he turns a little bit, but he knows he does not have a chance of killing that Zeus. This lineup of NIP was supposed to be doing really well right now, and that's the problem. That's the biggest issue for them.
Era. He's going in for this. He's got backup. Saberlight and Misha come in. It should be a dead Roger. He's trapped underneath the tower. They get the kill. Roger's punished, but space is there. FlyToMoon, they might not be able to finish the top tier 1 tower. It does end up getting denied, but they get the mid point instead. Vichu getting a lot of space on this Morphling, already sailing up towards the top of the board. We saw what he did in a game where he had to make a comeback. This time, he's been ahead for the entirety of it.
Yeah, that's a lot of space being made. Not only was the top tower denied, they also take the mid-tier one. That's 2 towers out of the game, which shrinks the map so much for this Terrorblade that's supposed to be farming safely on his side of the map. Suddenly you have Sand King with, let's say, a dagger, same goes for Tiny. It becomes very difficult for Charlie to play and farm. There we go, the Blink Dagger on General completed.
They get the jump on Charlie, he's just dead. Oh, okay, going for the illusions. Generally has been dusted, always want to fly. He's going to try and keep him safe. Aaron, he's actually gone for the kills on the side, so a little split up. They do still get General, but they'll lose error for it. Vichu only held in place for the moment being. The familiars do finish off always want to fly, so NIP, they found a couple. Can they get anything more from this though? Vichu and Iceberg, little speedy Supreme. Not quite going to have the catch on Vichu as he's away with the waveform, but NIP, that is 2 for 1. Now in position to push in onto mid with Charlie in the meta. They should be able to take this tier 1 down.
That's really well played. That's really well played from NIP, even though they're a little bit behind. 4K behind at 14 minutes in isn't really little. That's a big thing. But they also recognized exactly how FlyToMoon will play. They want to invade your jungle, they want to pressure the Stevie, so why not just wait for them on the high ground, which is what they did, and they repelled this first aggressive movement from FlyToMoon. It's really important.
Yeah, they just need a bit more of that NIP here to swing this around. Emerald. Just looking for that bounty room. Won't be able to get it. Error. He's able to pick it up in time. Iceberg's coming across with the follow-up burst, but Error's able to make it out. Quick shot over towards the mid lane will save him.
And that was pretty good for Era. He got the bounty, he also got out. Roger, however, Charlie.
Oh, have they got first? Get the Sunder off this time round. No Thunder God's Wrath was available to back him up. And Roger might just die to this as the illusion is chasing him. And he's going to get popped here with the rocket flare. Over towards the river as well. They've always want to fly. He's false promised himself, but they have the damage and the control with the Triumph Micro to take down another. It's NIP starting to get some kills going their way now.
Okay, so I have to say, FlyToMoon, they're making some very basic mistakes. You're ahead. All your main initiator have daggers, your Tiny and your Sand King. That doesn't necessarily mean that you get to play alone afterwards, right? Like, if you continue playing alone, you're giving them an opportunity of coming back, which NIP is gladly taking. They kill off the Tiny. Iceberg.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Misha might be dead.
Yeah, Roger. The combo. And these heroes will continue to burst anyone that comes out alone until BKB's glimmers are online.
If you're an IP, you're fine with that. It's your position 5 that died. At the same time, you pressured the bottom lane. You opened up the map for Charlie. It's not the biggest thing if an Enchantress dies, as long as you're making them use spells and resources.
Radiant are scanning.
And we have at least the hood done here for Saberlights, who shouldn't get popped as easily by the blink combo they're going for. And they're going to try and hit FlyToMoon with the smoke coming in with the wrap around. They're going to find Iceberg. Oh, that's a dream way to start. That's the catch they want to find him, pushing him back with the cogs into the familiar stuns.
Really, really good play.
Yeah.
He had haste there, but he used force too soon. Era hooked him after the force staff, and then he had no way out. But man, NIP, they're playing really, really well when it comes to these rotations. They're doing everything on point. They're realizing where FlyToMoon wants to play, and they're punishing them with these smoke rotations.
VTune. He's got the meta form, but can't really chase into this here. Saberlight's coming over. General and VTune still aggressively stepping up into the high ground. General, he even wants to go. He's going to go in with the Burrow Strike. Rogers in as well with the Avalanche Toss. Era's pretty tanky though. Era will finally pop as VTune looks to turn on towards Saberlight. This Morphling hitting pretty darn hard. The Thunder God's Wrath comes out, but they've lost Roger. Now turning with the familiar stun control onto VTune. VTune's saved just in time by the false promise. Always want to fly, will fall. VTune still taking heavy damage. Is he going to be able to outdo the damage coming out? He will. He's starting to shift. He's trying to live, but he cannot survive.
Tell me, Owen, did you ever play a party with your, like, let's say, ERL friends that don't really play Dota a lot in some 2K, 1K games?
All the time.
Yeah, there you, and then you go into your normal ranked games and feel like, I can't play like this anymore. I can't play as freely. I feel like FlyToMoon, they expected the same NIP from the first game, and this NIP is completely different. This is like your real ranked. The first game NIP was your 1K, 2K friends. So FlyToMoon definitely needs to step it up when it comes to their aggressive playstyle and how they rotate across the map, because they're getting punished time after time.
Oh yeah, they're losing a lot of the lead that they had. As the moment's passed, this Supreme Visage will take a hold of the top spot with the Midas going, and Charlie's terribly not too far behind either.
You can see that the itemization is really crucial on both sides. This is a game in which you really have to think about what you're buying. Because of that, General has a Vanguard already. He's most likely going for that Crimson Guard that negates the damage from Saberlight, Supreme and Charlie. But mostly Supreme. Era has a Hood. You can see Hood as well, I believe, on Saberlight because of that magic damage that's coming from FlyToMoon. But damn, Supreme went for a BKB too. That's actually very interesting.
I see Saberlight nearly having that full pipe for the team. It's going to make all the difference against this lineup from FlyToMoon. Very reliant on the magic damage, at least at this point of the game, until VTune becomes that real late game right clicker. It's going to take some time though. VTune.
I think they try to catch him off guard if he is not really shifting strength at all. If he's low enough, you can kill him with perhaps Nature's Prophet ulti plus the hook shot. That's what they tried there, but it just looked silly.
Coming out on the top lane, FlyToMoon. The three of them. Ready to push, Roger. Ready to seize the opportunity to jump. We're seeing the Aghanims halfway done right now on Iceberg.
This next set of items is very crucial for both sides. You need to wait for them. Aghanims on Zeus, Crimson Guard on Sand King. On the other hand, you have the pipe coming from Saberlight. You have the BKB as well from the Visage that's already done. After that, we'll see just which set of items makes the team stronger in the next couple of team fights. I couldn't really call which team is going to take it. It really comes down to execution.
Oh, they may just find a big one here. It's just going to be always one of Fly tanking it. As Iceberg's already starting to head away. TPs are coming over. Maybe thinking if they can turn, we'll be able to save always one of Fly. Well, in fact, him saving himself. Force was used here from Iceberg to give him that extra bit of safety. And still, they're looking to go for it. General caught out on the front lines. He's pretty tanky as this Sand King. Going with the Burst Strike may not be quite tanky enough though. The Soul Assumption and the Impetus finish him off. They couldn't get a fight going there, FlyToMoon. General dying without any backup. Get out with the TPs in their own time. They're not. Always want to fly. Left behind.
Radiant structures.
The rest will escape. Again, NIP sweeping across, picking up kills, and taking away these towers without any chance for FlyToMoon to get together a defense.
Yeah, NIP definitely playing the way they should be. Maybe this is even Roche. You have a bit more than a quarter of meta on. Yeah, they're going straight into it. Why not? Visage is extremely good at taking the Roshan.
Let's see what they can do around here. Can anybody go for a steal? V2's heading in. I don't know if he wants to try for this. This is a little too risky. Yeah, he's not going to. Surely not. Okay, Roger is. Roger's going to try and start things. I mean, he will die immediately for that attempt. And yeah, V2, he's not going in. He's not going in. They can't stop this. They can't try for a steal. This Roche, we NIPs, Aegis grabbed by Charlie. And it definitely feels like if NIP just want to group up as 5 and go down a lane, it's getting to that point where they can push around this Terrorblade. And FlyToMoon, their lineup very good at sort of finding pickoffs, jumping and popping someone. Against a full 5-man and this pipe done by Saberlight, that team fight just isn't as threatening.
Yeah, because of the way you itemize on the side of NIP, even though it takes like 30 seconds to kill that Sand King, there's no damage coming from FlyToMoon. You have the BKB, you have the pipes, the hoods, the glimmer capes, and most of your damage on FlyToMoon, it really is magical right now. So you can't kill anyone. I like the itemization from the Sand King with the Crimson Guard pretty much being built up right now.
Oh, here we go. General wants a free one.
Okay.
Oh, no. Didn't do the math. We've got Thunder God's Wrath soon. It's not going to matter now. The heals too are kicking in.
If it's a different game, if it's a game in which he has perhaps a Veil, that's a kill. Yeah, that's definitely a kill. But in a game in which he's forced to itemize so defensively, he can't even get the position 5 Enchantress down.
Always want to fly. It's going to be fine. Just stays.
Don't be mad.
Out of vision down bottom. They'll find error. Managed to get the jump on him. We are starting to see NIP split back up a little bit, and that is when they're vulnerable to these moves from FlyToMoon.
But look at where Terrorblade is. Era isn't there coincidentally. He's there because that's the only route they can take to get to Charlie. And because of his death, Charlie is fine here, and he can continue on farming.
Got the full Ags on Iceberg now, so again, significant burst. Ags done on Supreme as well.
Yeah, that Aghanims on Supreme is really big because the amount of control that you get from 3 birds, actually 6 if you have your ulti up, is huge. And if a Morphling doesn't have a BKB, 1 Visage is enough to control him for a very significant time.
Yeah, especially against these heroes like Roger and General. It's Tiny and Sand King. They're always going to be in the front on top of you. You're going to be able to catch multiple in the familiar drops. Era just going to go straight for the hook shot in. Onto the Tiny. Postback's there. Saberlight comes in with a TP on the back line. So the Wolves always want to fly. Now the false promise comes out to Roger. Always want to fly will fall. Roger, he's going to be abandoned. They're going to leave him. They're just going to let NIP take this one as well as Roger. He's going to have blink in 8 seconds. That's not going to be anywhere near soon enough. Sprouts out. NIP continuing to pick up kills as they wish.
NIP just hit this timing, and you can't fight if you're FlyToMoon. Even that fight over there looked pretty good. You had Oracle in position to save Tiny. You had your Nimbus in a really good spot. But it just doesn't matter. You don't have the damage to take them down. How's Morphling doing? Has Skadi and Manta. Man, this just doesn't feel like it will change a lot.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Still yet to really see him get to the chance to show what he's capable of in the fights. And for the most part, avoiding them this game. VTune. As a DD, he's sitting for NIP, so should be able to head back, grab this on Charlie. Come to an end though, so looks to be a farming DD, maybe just working on their next big items before they start to push again. NIP, I mean, with the farm that Charlie and Supreme have, maybe not really feeling too much pressure themselves. There is a Zeus mid on the other side, maybe not too worried about Iceberg as things get later on.
They're just taking one objective after another.
No!
See the way they're rotating across the map as well. They're just setting up the two possible smoke rotations, green and brown. That's Clockwork and Enchantress, while Visage is pressuring the tier 2.
Boom, there it goes.
But meanwhile, FlyToMoon, they're not really interested in fighting, are they? They're just farming on VTune in general. The rest of them are hiding behind towers.
And we see what Iceberg next up. Let's go for the Octarine.
He's got what he needs.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna have the high ground, you're gonna have the D push, right? You're gonna have the defense.
It's not that big of a defense versus Visage. Zeus, that is, because of the birds. They do the heavy lifting.
Oh, quick one here. Arrow jumps out. They're going to use the Thunder God's Wrath. Maybe see if there's the chance to jump in and catch anyone else. Just give them the vision on Supreme, but Supreme, he's out. Pots the BKB, he's away immediately after he gets scouted by that Zeus ult.
Yeah, that was a really good smoke as well. Something that we came to expect from these teams, because Aegis was running out. And Aegis is out right now. They are 4. Why not smoke again?
There we have it. Deep smoke from FlyToMoon on the attempt to catch more here. Do they want to go deep past the tier 2? This is pretty deep.
It's so dangerous.
It might catch FlyToMoon off to guard. They're going to start poking at Charlie. VTune turning into the TB. As Dead always want to fly. VTune, he's going to start backing away. This was a very, very deep poke here from FlyToMoon. I think they'll do good if they don't lose anyone else other than the Oracle. And they'll get out. Some very aggressive moves there.
Yeah, that was very aggressive. It was so aggressive because Clockwork was also respawning. And he joined the fight.
Well, Sableye trying to catch. He's found VTune and the Sprout, but VTune's still able to wave him away. So VTune will make it out of there. NIP have, with that move though, reached the tier 2 again in the mid lane.
Is that the Hex I saw on Visage? The Supreme have a Hex completed, or not yet? Only 3,000 gold. Okay, so he's getting there slowly, but eventually he will get it, and Morphling will not have a free game like now. Solar Crest, next one for Saberlight. I just love how much utility they have on the NIP. Everyone is contributing a little bit. They're not really going for those selfish items that we see from some players. No. One gets a pipe, then you have Laz from Saberlight, Visage with the drums as well, with the Hex Neck. Really solid stuff from them. Yeah,
and you really do feel it. Anytime they're in this 5-man group up, it just seems impossible for FlyToMoon to fight into them. The only kills that FlyToMoon has found over the past 10 minutes has been that of people being left alone, being separated from the main movement of NIP. The team as a whole, very hard for FlyToMoon to really dive into.
Also notice that 4 players of NIP have a Hood of Defiance, and the one that doesn't, the Terrorblade, he has just a cloak. So all of them are itemizing versus the massive magical damage output that's coming from FlyToMoon.
Yeah, and it's working. They can't kill them very quickly at all.
Okay, Supreme doesn't have it, but he has a shawl. It's something.
See top lane. Not much you can do against the Sand King. So we're seeing NIP do a good job of starting to control this game. I mean, when are they going to try and push for more? When do they need to start looking for the high ground?
I think you're looking at 1 or 2 pickoffs, or you're thinking about this next Roshan. And to control the Roshan successfully, you need to take this cliff area where they are heading right now. You see where they're camping. When you're sitting here, you can creep skip mid lane and top lane, and pretty much constantly shove in 2 lanes. So this is strategically a really, really good position for NIP.
Now BKB done now for the morph, so we'll see VTune have a better shot in the team fights. For the most part, he's just having to be very careful waveform and aways. Use the Thunder God's Wrath to try and scout them out. This will probably give the info to NIP that FlyToMoon are looking to do something. Or down. Look for the jump in onto Era. He will fall. So quick jump to start things. NIP thinking about trying to chase back. Won't do so. There is the completion of the Hex for Supreme. So he's got a lot of control.
He's dealing no damage. Like, once that Crimson Guard is popped on Sand King, his birds are irrelevant. All you can do with them is pretty much stun. So FlyToMoon get away without losing anyone. Morphling is keeping up. His farm is solid considering how the game went. He didn't join any of the fights. He was AFK for the majority.
I mean, he's 2-1 of 3. Well, he's only been involved in 5 of the 15 this game, V2. Yeah. Very much just focused on farming in the safe places.
It is the right choice, because usually when you think about this carry-to-carry matchup, Morphling is the stronger one. However, there's a lot of supporting cast on the side of NIP.
NIP out with the smoke, ready to try and make a catch with this Hex. Just always want to fly. Ooh, it's going to get going on here. Era goes for it. The Force will save the Oracle though. That will put an end to that smoke move from NIP. Not able to get anyone by surprise. Saberlight TPing over, but not quite in range to start anything else off.
And that was a very nice Nimbus play from Iceberg as well, separating the aggression. So it was only Clockwork on the high ground. The rest of them had to deal with Nimbus first, and only then they could follow up.
The Hex out. Supreme also committing the BKB to try and finish off Roger, but Roger's forced over the cliff. He's fine. General will get turned towards Cayman in the midst of it all, but they have the dust out. Roger falls. For a minute, VTune as well, having to back up and trying to see if they can catch anything more here. NIP as they chase across. Did pop the meta for this one. At the least, maybe able to have a shot at trying to push high ground with his meta onto the side. A safety toss back from Roger. Keeps always want to fly out of harm's way.
One of the difficulties that you find, yeah, this Terrorblade hits hard. He has that crit completed as well.
Yeah, also the full BKB as well now for Charlie, so very little for him to be concerned of in the fights when that BKB's up.
So they're going straight into the pit, but this meta is about to run out.
Yeah, FlyToMoon is heading over. There's going to be the buyback. They're going to make sure that they contest NIP here, as NIP are going to stay in the pit. They're really trying to finish it. Can they do so in time? Error comes out, and that's going to create a distraction. They can't get to the pit in time. NIP will have the space required to get the Roshan Aegis onto Charlie. Also being able to find the kill onto Roger, seeing if they can chase for more. They get a stun out. Onto always want to fly. General jumps back in. They turn on the Saberlight. VTune, he's able to find one. Looks over towards Misha. VTune trying to get back towards the safety of the rest of the team. Turns into the TB there. VTune using a reflection to try and slow them down, but Charlie pushes on, takes down always want to fly.
That's a buyback from General. They lose 2. That's Aegis, and she's picked up by NIP. At least they take Saberlight out of the equation, but man, if you're NIP, you're happy with how the things are going.
Yeah, this is looking pretty solid now for NIP.
You just got Rosh without meta.
Yeah.
You didn't even use any big spells there. You didn't even use BKB. Like, afterwards you did in fight, but you're extremely satisfied. if you're NIP.
Yeah, you're definitely getting in the position where you've got all the tools to push. Maybe being down Saberlight for a minute will again at least cause them to wait until he's back in. I guess no need to really try and push it. Watch, you haven't got the Prophet alive.
It was a really nice defense of the Rosh pit as well, right? Era went outside.
Yeah, great hook shot from Era. It stopped any steal, any counterplay. They just couldn't get near the pit because of Era heading straight up like that.
Hex also on the tiny. Roger is your main target that you're worried of, and he was smart about it. He used the spider legs. He tried to get over the cliff and then blink in, but instantly hexed by Supreme. He's sick of his shenanigans and trying to steal that rush. So I'm impressed by the way NIP is playing the second game, because we have seen many series between these two teams, and so far this looks like the best performance NIP have had.
No, they've definitely got something good going here. I mean, the last pick has definitely been played to full potential. I mean, Supreme on the Visage came through last in the draft, 11-2 and 8. He's had a very, very good game. Despite having that rough start.
The start was...
This was a rough mid matchup in the sense that things fell apart because of those early movements that really gave the boost to Iceberg.
One thing is, though, this, like the panel mentioned, like we mentioned during the early stages of the game, is a really good Visage game. You don't have any hero that really deals with him easily. And I love this. He's actually going for Refresher. This is something that I haven't seen since Virtstro Lil days. If you remember when he played position 4 on Virtstro, he used to go for Blink Refresher on Visage. He would blink on top of you, summon the birds, stun you with them, use all his spells, then refresh, summon more birds. You would be stunned for like 10 seconds just off of that. It's an unconventional build, but I like it.
Yeah, definitely a high skill cap build as well. You got to have the execution down to see if you're trying to go for that max duration lockdown between the birds.
Yeah, you can mess it up definitely, but he has 2 hexes as well to work with, right? He has...
Sure, so if it's ever like, oh, there's a bit of a window where you're getting away before the stun's dropping, bam, you got a hex to cover yourself, yeah. And without a doubt. Seeing Charlie, so Arcane Room ready to go, so that next meta will be with a reduced cooldown to benefit him for the second play off the back of it. I'm gonna go for the smoke here, FlyToMoon.
And the double damage. So they're smoked up with Arcane ZD.
Damn, that's gonna feel pretty good. How can they stop him? Let's see what they got. NIP approaching the high ground. What have FlyToMoon got to push them back? Iceberg gonna do his best, sitting back, spamming out the lightning. Will certainly clear out the way pretty reliably. Still, Charlie getting a lot of damage done to the tier 3, even through the repair. Can they get it? The tower will go down. Hex on top, just want to fly. They'll fly back immediately. Charlie, he's just tearing apart the base. They're onto the Rex they go. There's just no presence, no front line from FlyToMoon that can jump in and stop this Terrorblade.
You just sigh Gaben, please. When you see Charlie with Arcane Room and double damage, you know the odds are not in your favor. They tried to put up a defense. They had the repair kit over there as well. They had the glyph, but it's just not enough. This Terrorblade is a beast. He has a Daedalus completed.
Yeah, and I mean, where's the next bit of power spike for FlyToMoon? We're seeing them struggle to defend. Does anything get better for them as the moments pass?
I actually don't see...
Oh, Iceberg. He's going to need some serious assistance. He's going to get it. General comes in with the Burrow Strike on 2. The 4-star mono Iceberg taking him down to the low ground. Roger also able to break it away. Snores out as well. The Burrow Strike. And the extra track come bouncing around. Always want to fly. Tries to help him out. Can't do so. There's no false promise. Already been used. So it's General down for 100 seconds, a long time without the Sand King.
Supreme just ravaged them with his birds. Not only did he catch General with 2 stuns, the 1 remaining stun that he had with the bird stunned 3 remaining heroes. That was extremely well played by Supreme. And you asked about the next big power spike for FlyToMoon. I really don't see it. VTune has to do some guns.
He's going in. He's going in, VTune. He's trying to fight them. He's kind of doing it here. Supreme's getting low, but Supreme will live. VTune, he's hookshot into the... He is dead, though. Went in No goal for buyback. That may just be them throwing in the towel here in game 2. As you've lost him off, 75 Beachin just not able to really get much done at all this game as he was playing from behind. This Terror Blade just out carrying him in every sense. As the second round will go down, the game won't come to an end yet, but it definitely feels like we're on the final chapter.
Rogers didn't have buyback, so they tried to go back for him. Maybe they'll go for bottom Raxes. Let's see. It definitely does look that way. They know it.
I mean, he's just stepping forward underneath the birds. He's dead. Just want to fly. With the plot twist as he comes in with the false promise. There's a lot of damage coming out to Roger, and they get him back to safety. The birds continue to beat him down and will kill him off. Roger is gone. 10 seconds until General's up.
30 seconds without morphling. Megas are there. It's only now a question of NIP. Do they want to finish it or wait for the meta? It looks like they want to finish it.
We'll see. It's going to be the last attempt for FlyToMoon in game 2. General is going to go in. It's a big FP, and the Thunder goes Rapper. Letting them down low, but Charlie's able to pop the BKB down with the Thunder back up to full HP. Always want to fly goes down. GG well played his sword, and NIP will be able to punch back here very nicely in game 2 after falling flat on their faces in game 1, coming back in and showing that they're not to be shaken up, and they can still do it here today as they'll take this game 2 against FlyToMoon.
Yeah, I'm very satisfied with the boys. I think they outplayed themselves. This is better than anything I have seen from NIP in this tournament. Looked really solid. Okay,